There are a few shortcuts that I really recommend you to remember just to speed up your creative process. Among the most important ones are, of course, the spacebar to play and stop, the return key to go back to 0, the comma and the full stop to rewind and fast forward. As I mentioned before, the V to bring up the plugins and hiding them, X to bring up the mixing board window, P to bring up the piano roll window, N to bring up the notation window, K to turn on and off the metronome, M to mute a track, S to solo a track. If I want to mute a single region or event, I'm going to select that region and then press Ctrl M. Ctrl M toggles between mute and unmute either a region or a selection. If I press the T key, it's going to bring out my different editing options. I highly recommend remembering some of the most important ones. So again, if I want to bring up the pencil, T and P brings up the pencil quickly. T and E is the eraser. T and I is the scissor tool in order to cut an event or a region. The glue tool is also nice in order to join different regions or different events. Mute tool, solo tool, we already learned them. The zoom tool is also useful because it allows me to select an area and zoom in. Fade tool, very important when we do audio editing. Automation tools, those are fairly important, not crucial. The Marquee tool is also important because it allows me to select areas inside a region and either cut, copy, paste, and do more editing. Another really important one is the secondary tool up here. Basically, I can access a second tool very quickly by simply pressing the command. By pressing command, I'm going to switch automatically to that tool. So if I know that I'm going to do a good amount of cutting or splitting, I can use that tool to quickly switch to the secondary tool. So for example, if I know that I'm going to need to create different regions on a regular basis, I can just select my secondary tool as the pencil tool. And now whenever I need to create a region, I'm going to press command and I can quickly insert a region. This of course works also in the piano roll view, for example. So if I need to insert a note, I can simply insert it. Of course, Command Z, undo. That's a very important one. And Shift Command Z to redo what you just undid. Another very important shortcut is the R, which allows me to start recording. So if I press the R on the keyboard, Logic will start recording according to my location. If I want to engage the count off or disengage the count off right here, I'm going to press Shift K. A nice trick of Logic is that if I play something while the tracks are playing, and for some reason I like what I did and I want to have it recorded, I can always do that. So for example, let's say I'm going to play something on this track. So I'm going to press play. And I press stop and I realize, oh, what I just did was great. I wish I recorded it. Well, if I press Shift R, whatever I played since the last time I pressed the play button is going to be recorded. So this is a great trick because often I actually use this to record a track because if I don't like what I did, I simply don't press Shift R. If I like what I did, I press Shift R. You have to remember to press Shift R right after you stop, because if I do anything else or if I start the playback again, the buffer will be erased. But this is a great trick to record something and to capture something that you might have not recorded initially. And finally, the last shortcut that I highly recommend using is the shortcut C. The C on the keyboard. This engages the cycle range, which allows me to cycle through the left and right locator highlighted by this yellow strip. So again, C engages and disengages the cycle. I can change the cycle boundaries by simply going to the boundaries and clicking and dragging. This is going to be useful when we learn how to bounce a region, because basically by selecting it up here, it will automatically select it as my region to bounce.